If you want to see the best of the Mesoamerican Barrier Reef, you have two choices. You can jump on a crowded booze cruise, or you can do what we did. Take local buses across the country, ditch the tourist trail entirely, and end up on a tiny off-the-grid island with world-class snorkelling right off your balcony. I'm Libby, and this is DIY wildlife travel in Tobacco Caye. Getting to Tobacco Caye independently requires a bit of faith in Belize time. We got the 6:30 AM boat from Caye Caulker to Belize City, sprinted off the pier and managed to find the fastest taxi driver in the country to get us to the bus station in time. We arrived at 7:53 for a 7:45 AM bus and pulled into the car park just as the bus was driving out of the station. Our driver literally blocked the bus in so we could jump aboard. Absolute perfection. We didn't see a single other tourist on the local bus. This is renegade travel we live for. No overpriced tourist shuttles here, just real life. We arrived into Dangriga at the bus terminal and walked about 15 minutes to the river port where we caught our boat out to the reef. It was a massive travel day in total, but when that turquoise water of Tobacco Caye came into view, it was all worth it. We finally made it. Welcome to Tobacco Caye, a tiny island in the Belize Barrier Reef with only enough space for 5 small guest houses. We stayed at Reef's End Lodge, which sits literally on the edge of the reef drop-off. You don't even need to be in the water to see the wildlife here. We had huge iguanas roaming around and a pair of nesting ospreys right next to the lodge. You can also see stingrays and eagle rays cruising in the shallows, as well as nurse sharks and even baby nurse sharks too. We dumped our bags and got straight into the water as soon as we could. And honestly, the coral here blows Caye Caulker out of the water. Now, we'd originally planned to do the famous 3-day ragga sailing trip down to Tobacco Caye, but we watched some videos on YouTube and realised that it was basically a booze cruise filled with snorkel noobs and a lot of fishing. As vegans and just as wildlife lovers, we want to observe fish, not kill them for our own entertainment. And so doing it DIY, travelling here via bus and boat to Tobacco Caye directly was the best decision we made. And staying at Reef's End was actually cheaper than the sailing tour. We had a proper bed instead of a crappy tent, and we had the freedom to explore the second largest barrier reef in the world completely at our own pace. We would definitely recommend this over the sailing trip. And a word on the reef here. The biodiversity is staggering. It's not on par with anything in the Coral Triangle, but for Central America, and in fact all of the Americas, we found this reef here to be the most interesting and diverse. I tried to highlight some of the more interesting fish in the captions here, so you can see what kind of fish you might be able to see. Oh, and apparently there is a resident bull shark that patrols the drop-off here. They say she's friendly, but honestly we were quite happy not bumping into her during our time here. Being remote doesn't have to mean eating badly though, and Reef's End is an all-inclusive lodge, and they catered for us perfectly as vegetarian and vegans, with different amazing food every day. Plus the restaurant has stunning sunset views. And being out in the middle of the ocean with zero light pollution also has its perks, and Dave woke up at 4 AM to capture some of the best astrophotography of the entire trip. When we weren't snorkelling, we were using the lodge's free kayaks. The island is so small that you can kayak around the whole thing in just an hour, or probably even faster if you don't spend most of it looking at birds. I liked that we could use the kayaks to take a closer look at the nesting pair of ospreys. as well as some of the other shorebirds that are found around here as well. But you couldn't keep us out of the water for long, and whenever the visibility seemed good, we dove straight back in. The Belize Barrier Reef is a 300-kilometre stretch of the Mesoamerican Reef system, making it the second largest in the world. Charles Darwin actually described this reef as the most remarkable in the West Indies back in 1842, and it supports over 500 species of fish and around 100 types of hard and soft coral, making it an absolute powerhouse of marine biodiversity. The highlight for us in Tobacco Caye was probably seeing these spotted eagle rays. Some of them let us get really close and weren't fazed by our presence at all. This one, which we affectionately named Little Piggy, let us follow him for ages whilst he foraged for food in the seabed. And you can clearly see the reason why we called him Little Piggy. Watch its mouth. Spotted eagle rays have this highly specialised, almost pig-like snout, and they use it to root around and dig deep into the sandy floor to uncover buried mollusks and crustaceans. Getting to witness completely natural, undisturbed behaviour like this is exactly why we travel the way we do, with no crowds, no splashing tour groups, just us and the reef. It was incredibly hard to leave this place, and next time we'll definitely be staying for longer. But for now, it's time to say goodbye to the ocean as we head inland towards the jungles of Guatemala. If you want the full DIY guide on how to get here, then head to my blog oceantojungle.com and subscribe for more wildlife adventures. See you in the jungle soon. Bye.